What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we actually have some very big news that has come out this morning. Want to address what that is. First, we do have the CPI report that came out for September. That came out this morning. That is really big news. That also means we have our Social Security cost of living adjustment announcement. That is what we received this morning. So I will address what's going on there in just a minute. First, I do want to go over the CPI report because, and again, I bring this up because the CPI report impacts every single one of us. Yes, if you are on Social Security, you're wondering what the Social Security cost of living adjustment will be. Again, I'm going to address that in just a minute. But first, you need to understand what is costing us a lot more money, what the CPI report actually said today. Now, you've probably seen the headline numbers. That CPI rose by 0.4% in September. This means over the last 12 months, inflation is now sitting at 8.2%. Keep in mind, we were expecting 8.1%. So it's actually a little bit hotter than what we were expecting. Last month, we were sitting at 8.3%, which means we did come down, which is good news. But keep in mind that there was a big shift that happened over the past month, and that was instead of gasoline prices going down, we actually turned around and we started coming back up. Fuel for the month of September, it dropped by 2.7%. The problem here is the expectation is it's actually going to go back up higher than 2.7% for the next month. Now, just to give you an idea, all types of energy dropped 4% month over month. Okay? Unfortunately, these are going back up. Okay? Keep that in mind. Because when gas prices go up, it doesn't just mean it costs more money to drive your vehicle. It also means for deliveries, costs more money. Services to your house cost more money. Okay? Food costs more money. Right? But let's go over some of these other key data points for the month. Because again, we're starting to see more broad-based inflation, which is causing a huge concern and is actually getting some on Wall Street to speculate that the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates by 100 basis points in their next meeting. So I'll address that in just a minute. But let's talk about food. Food's a big one because every single person has to eat, right? I have to eat, you have to eat, everybody's eating. Here's the problem. Food increased by 0.8% month over month. That's a 9.6% annualized rate. Almost 10% increase in food costs. Food is one of the bigger expenses for millions of Americans. Right? It's food. It is housing. Those are the big costs. So food prices going up is not a great sign. We also saw new vehicles increase in price by 0.7% month over month. That's an 8.4% annualized rate. Well, here's the problem. New vehicles are going up, but used cars and trucks fell by 1.1% month over month, which is interesting that used cars and trucks are going down, new vehicles are going up in price, but yet dealerships are still struggling to get vehicles onto their lots. So I think that's interesting. I'm curious what this is going to look like next month. But here's one that is just going to hurt millions of Americans, is that shelter increased by 0.7%. That's an 8.4% annualized rate. Now, shelter's going up. But what's crazy about it, again, here's the crazy thing. Rents are going up in price. Homes are going down. If you're an investor and you can get in on a home that's going to cost you less money, but you can raise rates, that's a great investment. But for the average American that doesn't have the ability to buy an investment property, well, this is going to hurt. This isn't a time when housing experts, are anticipating rents are going to increase by 4 to 5% over the next year. 4 to 5%. But signs are showing that we may have to deal with an 8 to 10% inflation rate for rents. Yeah, That's what we are kind of worried about is, okay, rents are going to go up. Rents are one of those essentials. You got to pay for rent, you got to pay for food, you pretty much should be paying for your medication, and then you have to pay for utilities. Everything else is one of those, kind of a want, not really a need. Do you need a cell phone? No. Do you want one? Probably. Do you need Netflix? No. Do you want it? Yeah, probably. Right? Do you need internet? No. For me, having internet is not just, something that I use for, checking social media, right? Or watching television or playing on the Xbox. No. It's something that I use for work, for business. So for me, having internet is key, right? But again, for most people, rent is the main thing, the biggest expense. And now we're hearing it's going up. Yeah, it's going to be concerning for the rest of the year. Let's talk about food prices really quick because I know a lot of people are going to ask. Well, food prices, yes, have gone up. Eggs, though, decreased in price by 3.6% month over month. Frozen fish and seafood went up by 1.6%. All these numbers are month over month, by the way. Fresh fruits and vegetables increased by 1.5% month over month. Apples alone went up by 5% month over month. That's a 60% annualized return, right? Or annualized rate. That's insane. Lettuce went up 6.8%. Chewing gum went up 2%. Salad dressing went up 2.4%. Even pet food went up 1.3% month over month. So it doesn't matter if you're a human or a pet, you are going to pay more for your food. And as I said earlier, this was a bad report. And I say it's a bad report because not only did inflation barely drop amid gas prices dropping significantly, but we are seeing more broad-based inflation now than we have in the past. And this, again, has many Wall Street executives speculating that the Federal Reserve is going to have to come out and raise rates by 100 basis points in their next FOMC meeting. So we will see what happens there. But let's talk about the Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2023. We now have the number, okay? The number for Social Security and their cost of living adjustment for 2023 is going to be 8.7%. That's what it's going to be. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because this is a defining moment. 8.7% is going to be the largest increase in 40 years. We got 5.9% last year, but the problem with 5.9% was as soon as January hit, that 5.9% was under what inflation was actually at. I think inflation came in first month was like 6.2%. So we were already under, right? So this cost of living adjustment is going to impact roughly 70 million Social Security beneficiaries, including about 8 million on supplemental security income. The good news here, though, is that this is going to bring in about $147, $150, somewhere around there every single month for Social Security recipients, or on average. Now, in a time when inflation doesn't look like it's stopping, and we're currently sitting at 8.2%, this $150 is going to be greatly needed. And the fact that Medicare premiums are going to be lower in 2023, this is also a very good thing. Granted, you're only saving about $5 a month on your Medicare Part B plan. However, for many, that's going to be a huge help. And since most years Medicare Part B premiums increase, so let's say on normal year, what was it last year? They increased by like $22. So instead of your payment increasing by $22, you're saving $5. So it's like a $27 benefit on your part, right? And so this is what Social Security recipients are going to get. They'll be able to hold on to a little bit more of their money. So that's really good news right there. And I do have, and I've talked about this multiple times in the past, okay? And it's that if inflation is lower than the cost of living adjustment, which it is right now, okay, again, keep in mind, The cost of living adjustment, 8.7%. Inflation right now, 8.2%. Okay, so that means there's a 0.5% gap. This means seniors will have the chance to get ahead of inflation. This will give many seniors a little bit extra breathing room every single month because now they have a little bit extra money. So again, that's good news there. And if it's 8.7%, guess what? If inflation goes from 8.2 down to, let's say, 4% sometime in 2023, and I don't know it's possible, but let's say it does, well, guess what happens there? You get that spread. You get the other 4.7%. It's not like you have to give some of your money back. So that's good news for Social Security recipients who are going to be receiving this cost of living adjustment for 2023. But that's what we know at this time. Again, I know I threw a lot of numbers at you, but this is what we've been waiting for the past month, is to know what is the cost of living adjustment for 2023. We now know that. What is inflation looking like for the end of this year? Big thing here is this is also the final CPI report before the midterm elections. So we're going to have to, we're going to see what Democrats are going to do because, again, this was not a great report for Democrats. So we'll see what happens there. But again, as always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.